Good afternoon, all. On behalf of IoT Academy, we welcome you all for the 6th session of National Level Faculty Development Program on Teaching and Learning Process in HEIs. Let me introduce the resource person of today's session, Dr. T. Soudamani. Dr. Soudamani is currently working as an assistant professor of HRM, Geetham University, Andhra Pradesh. She has 17 years of teaching experience. She was a co-investigator in HR consultancy works for various companies and has delivered lectures in both public and private sectors. She has to her credit 9 book chapters, 2 books, and has presented numerous papers and case studies in various national and international conferences. She was awarded Best Educationist Award and National Mahila Rattan Gold Medal Award in the year 2017. She is also a lifetime member of various professional bodies like the National Institute of Personnel Management, Indian Society for Training and Development, and an editorial board member for a few international journals. With this, we hand over the session to Dr. Soudamani. Ma'am, please.
Thank you for the warm welcome. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Is it clear, my voice?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you, ma'am.
Now?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you, ma'am.
Yes. So, thank you for the opportunity. Firstly, I would like to thank IoT Academy for giving me this. I think some echo sound is coming.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear some background noise.
Is it clear? Is it clear now? Hello?
Ma'am, your voice is very low, ma'am, now.
Your voice is very low.
Yeah.
Is it audible? Okay. Okay.
Now it is audible, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So thank you for the opportunity and a warm welcome for all the audience or from various, I think, for the colleges and the industry people and all. Today I'm going to share with you all my thoughts on personality development skills for modern teachers. So the topics today I'm going to discuss on personality, determinants of personality, what is personality development and why it is important to the teachers, and the relationship between personality development and the teacher performance, and personality development tips at the last. So a small image consists of thoughts, personalities, and behaviors. So what immediately comes to our mind when we talk about the personality of an individual? Every individual has his own characteristics, the way of behaving, responding to the emotions, perceiving things, and looking for the world. No two individuals are similar, we know. Our thoughts are different. And when it comes to feelings, personality is concerned more with the psychological pattern of an individual, the emotions and the feelings, what we feel in ourselves. In fact, the totality of a character of an individual attributes the traits of a person responsible for molding his or her personality. The image very clearly shares that our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior molds our personality since our childhood. So what are various determinants actually which supports to our personality when we call in a different domain, in a different platforms, when we present ourselves, that it denotes our personality. The influences for our personality are the determinants or elements, we can say that heredity. An individual's physique or attractiveness of body, a complexion, body weight depend upon his or her parents or a biological makeup. The heredity plays an important role of personality, how we carry ourselves. The second thing is the environment, the surroundings to which an individual is subjected during the growing years, how an important role they'll play, are determining the personality of that. Our surroundings also sometimes influence us to behave in such a way, it may be a positive or it may be negative. The environment plays one of the important factor. Then the third important thing, a determinant of a personality, that is a situation. An individual's personality also changes with the current circumstances and situations. Sometimes we react negatively, sometimes we react positively. It's all depends upon the situation, that as per the situation, suddenly we change our personality, like a split personality. The reason behind that is not the basic nature of our personality. The situations demands us to react to basically our personality. So these three determinants majorly impact on individuals to change their personality as per the situations. So what is the relationship actually between the teacher personality development and the teacher performance? When we talk about the personality development of a teacher, there are a number of things or factors which influence. Being as a teacher, our performance basically, as per the Duncan studies, the effectiveness of a teacher is defined to extent where the teacher possesses the requisite knowledge, skills, and performance as the way a teacher behaves in the process teaching. So being in the higher education, when we are dealing with the students, that our process of teaching majorly will be measured or identified by this various stakeholders, how we behave. And of course, the knowledge, definitely we all will have a knowledge being as an academician, but how we convert our knowledge into skills, that completely impact on the classroom level, how we behaves with the student. Then another research says the qualities of an effective teacher is also being influenced by their communication, the expressive skills, their personality, and their ability. No matter we all are qualified, having the knowledge in our domain areas, but our knowledge is measured the way how we will communicate to the rightly to the student in an expressive way. There are skills are required, which also impacts our personality, our ability, that how I can deliver, how I can communicate, how I can exhibit the knowledge, whatever I'm having, in what way, in what sense I'm communicating. And the teachers whose personality helps create and maintain classroom level learning environment, a student feel more comfortable. We are the faculty in a way motivating the student. The pleasing personality makes the students to be more attentive in the class, and they don't have a fear factor or scared of anything to ask for any doubts or clarification or understanding the concept. So the kind of behavior which we expect from the student in return, the student also will expect. So the relationship between the teacher and a student and the teacher performance completely lies on the way how we are carrying ourselves at the classroom level. Yes, to develop the 21st century students education, there are a number of challenges we have to face. A knowledge-based society, a teacher has to consistently, continuously have to be supported to the student. And we can say this is a need of the hour. But to develop as a teacher, we need to understand the nature of this development. Does it mean professional development or personal development or social development? Which type of a development or which part of a development actually supports both the teacher and also to the student? Let us see what are the different kinds of these developments will support for the personality development of a teacher. When we talk about the first development process, that is professional development, there are a number of factors again in the image. If you can see that mentoring, consultation, practice, study and improve, reflection and learning. What all these, how it will be supported to a teacher for professional development? Mentoring, when we talk about mentoring students' point of view, that a student need to be mentored by a teacher or a mentor, a counseling, what they will support for their crisis time or any need or support they require. In the similar manner, even a teacher requires some mentoring. The mentoring may need not to be of the same colleague, maybe a higher authority, or whom we feel comfortable, or whom we feel as a role model, and where we can share our knowledge and expertise or their expertise with us, and whom we feel that that particular person can give a better solution to me, to guide me, like how I'm expecting or how a student is expecting from me. So mentoring always supports for a faculty, especially for the professional development. Then learning. Yes. For me, what is the learning for a teacher is, a student is a student until they complete an education, but a teacher is a teacher. Lifelong learning is it. For an every individual, learning is a lifelong process. And this learning should be there in the consistently, we have to have a learning. Unless if we learn ourselves, we cannot give a right inputs to the student. Then coming to the reflection is a mirror kind of an outcome of our output, the knowledge, skills, or how we behave, as I mentioned earlier. The reflection of our personality directly can be identified, assessed by the people who regularly contacts us. It may be student, it may be your higher authorities, it may be the stakeholders, it may be the parents, whomever you will interact, that they will see a kind of personality which sometimes they may express, which sometimes they may not express. The study and improve that. Yes, how long we have to study, like learning is a lifelong process. Studying also, that we have to update ourselves and improve to take the right inputs to the classroom. Practice, yes, learning by doing is the right practice, that regularly we need to practice ourselves for giving the right inputs. Consultation, we need to consult with various people, like industry, we need to conduct research, we have to do projects, we need to consult various people, especially with the parents, all the stakeholders, the requirements of that, what actually they're expecting. Supposingly, if we are training a student or making the student to sit for a placement, so sending them for a placement, that what are the industry expectations, sit with the placement people at your colleges, ask them what actually industry is expecting from them, and based on that, I need to know the inputs from I need to consult with the industry people, what the HR is expecting, what the domain knowledge is required, which specialization, what they're expecting, what type of work, job role they're supposed to do. Unless and until if I won't collect the data from the industry people, I cannot deliver my session in the class in a way where the student can understand and identify the real inputs of the industry, and they are the best suited to the company. So like these are professional development as a part of development, personality development of a teacher. Professional development plays a major role. In fact, 50% of a personality development of a teacher, especially for the modern age teacher, unless until if we are not updated ourselves and identifying our strength and improving our weakness as a continuous process, learning from others, we cannot professionally grow in our careers. Then, the teacher's ongoing reflection, evaluation, and analysis of their own practices are necessary elements of their professional element or professional development. So we need to have a self-reflection and self-evaluation also. And one of the Whitford studies says clearly, as this can support them construct teaching theories and improve their performance. There are different theories what we study, and we will explain to the students in a different subject. And these subjects or theories what we learn, practically how far it is applicable to them. Practically in the sense, learning by doing approach. Instead of explaining the theories to the students, that how they can apply that particular theory, like let it be a motivational theory, how you motivate a student, how you motivate an employee. So such kind of practices, if we are asking them to do at the classroom level, so they'll understand the theories and at the same time application. It may be experiments also. It depends, or it differs from subject to subject. Then an effective professional development, if we are seeing or if we have to see in ourselves, And we need to encourage faculty first, the teachers, to experiment new ideas. That no idea is a waste idea or not a useful idea. Every idea may be useful or maybe click to at least one student in the class. The classroom experience, the collaborative learning, reflective diaries, journals, portfolios, multiple opportunities of the teachers' autonomy and active learning. Where I personally feel, where we can, the institutions, where if they can give an autonomy to the teacher at the classroom level to explore new things, definitely there is no end for learning. The more the teacher is having an autonomy to experiment various concepts or subject content to the student, definitely all those will be helpful for the teacher personality development, and at the same time to develop the. For this, what universities or the institutions need to do, they need to conduct such kind of a program for the professional development. In what way the new practices teacher can learn from external sources, can outsource from other external agencies, and that need to be trained to the faculty. And if the faculty get those resources to the classroom by exploring new things, by involving students learning by things, definitely the professional development can be possible both for the teacher point of view and the student point of view. Then the second area of development when we talk about, that is personal development. So the personal development or self-development is possessing certain strengths and characteristics what we are having, the practices what they are following, what life skills they are learning for themselves in order to grow within the organization or outside of the organization. As an individual, as a person, how I'm developing myself. And developing teacher self is a crucial role in the quality education. Unless if we are not developing the teacher, how many resources you are having, how much investment you made on the institutions, it's of no use, unless, because the teacher is the person who bridges the gaps between the institution and the student. Let the technology develop, let whatever, but what is the right input and the wrong input, some person need to be there, and that person need to carry that to the student, and that is none other than that only teacher. That leads to a self-enhancement and self-esteem and self-confidence. Once we give that priority to the teacher to develop self, that self-enhancement make the teacher too proud of their self, which ultimately develops their intrapersonal skills. Majority of the times we concentrate, we discuss even with the students in many topics, and especially students who are introverts, we'll ask them to communicate thoroughly, communicate with everyone. So you have to be our interpersonal skills. But whereas for the teacher, before interpersonal skills, intrapersonal skills are required. Means knowing about themselves, their emotional balances, emotional intelligence, what they are thinking about themselves, what type of skills I know or I'm acquired that I can develop for the purpose of giving the right inputs to the teacher. So before talking about the interpersonal skills which are required for a student, intrapersonal skills of a teacher also equally important for their personal development. So therefore, teachers' personal development needs to be targeted. Faculty skill development programs, whatever they prepare, apart from the professional development, for their personal development, how individually I'm strong enough, am I feeling proud about myself, what are my skills, how I can develop my domain skills, both technical skills and the subject related skills, so that I can have a feeling of that taking the right inputs to the classroom, that confidence levels, if I am having, I can take the right confidence or the right skills to the student. So this is the second personal development which supports for the overall personality development of a teacher. Then it comes to the third level, the social development. So developing students' social skills such as their listening, their understanding, their communication, all these are very much essential, especially in today's education. But the teachers are prepared for this task. Do they possess social skills to interact effectively with those around them? So if I as a teacher need to develop my students to develop their communication, like as I mentioned, their interpersonal skills and all. So it depends upon my intrapersonal skills, that how am I confident enough to deliver the same thing to the teacher. So that what kind of a preparation is required from my end. that if I'm socially equipped, developing those skills in me, the same thing in return, I can also incorporate the same to my students also, which is, as I mentioned, which is very much required. So teaching is based on interpersonal relationship, communicating effectively with the students, colleagues, staff members, parents, all the stakeholders. It always creates a healthy professional relationships. The teachers, whatever skills they are having to develop, especially the social skills, which is helpful for their successful career and also well-being of a teacher also. So this capacity has been labeled as a social competence. As per the Dobson study, social competence include the being aware of one's own and others' emotions. Knowing about our own emotions as an intrapersonal skill, I should also know about the emotions of others. The emotions may be a student, the emotion may be my colleague, my emotion may be anyone whom I'm dealing. If I know the emotions, the feelings of another person, then I can react accordingly. It may be positive or negative. The managing impulses and behaving appropriately, communicating effectively. If I know their emotions, I can able to communicate in a right way. How I will know their emotions means if I know about such kind of a problem, if I face, how I will react. Like in the beginning slide, I mentioned that the situation will react as per the, basically that is not the nature of the particular person, but sometimes in individuals will react accordingly. The reason behind why an individual reacts like that means the situations make them. The situations make them positively or negatively react. In such situations, we may communicate negatively. It's not our nature, but still we will react to that because that is one of the determinant of our personality. And that maybe disturbs the relationships also. For forming a healthy and meaningful relationship, how I'm communicating and how others are reciprocating to me, it's all depends upon the completely my own personality. Working well with others and also resolving conflicts. Majority of the problems at the workplaces, especially when we are dealing with students or colleagues and all, it is a positive with a double-edged sword kind of a thing, or communication. Sometimes our intentions are good, but the way how we will react, the way how we will respond, the kind of gestures what we will do, people may misinterpret it, people may misunderstand it. To avoid all these barriers, we need to have a good social rapport with the people, that with openly we have to admit when we are wrong, or we have to communicate it clearly. The intention behind to make such kind of a statement, majority of the times it won't create or it won't relates to any other complications or grievances. So a total personality development of a teacher or a faculty completely lies on their professional development, the personal development, and their social development. So if I need to personally develop myself, I have to check in these three areas that professionally am I growing or not. For my professional development, what type of a skill set I'm developing, how I'm acquiring by the latest knowledge, with whom I'm contacting, what sort of academic credentials I'm getting, what kind of certifications I'm doing, from whom I'm taking the tips or maybe the improvement areas from my mentors, who are my role models. Are they observing me? Are they giving me right feedback? Am I taking their feedback in a productive or a constructive manner and all? All these things will definitely improve my professional development. When it comes to my personal development, knowing about myself, that I have certain life skills, I have certain interests, I have certain habits and all, or hobbies, which how I'm working with that. If I'm lagging anything, that am I taking the help of my institution or taking undergoing any training of such kind in order to develop my personality individually to improve or to help the student. And coming to the social skills, when I'm expecting my student to be having a good social skills, having a network with everyone, understanding the other problems, responding to them in a proper manner without misunderstanding from the other end, or the people whomever they are contacting, or in fact I'm contacting, the social development. If I wanted to develop my personality as an individual teacher, we need to concentrate these three areas. To some extent, we can develop a teacher personality. So let us go through different tips It is easy to say to develop my personality. It is easy to say to develop some social skills and all. But certain things or certain situations, as I said, that may not support. But how? Is there any way to develop ourselves? Is there any a method which every can follow? Maybe some individuals unknowingly or maybe not noticed repeatedly doing the same thing which they think they are right. It may create a further problems in their relationship and their career wise also. So we'll see one by one what kind of a tips a faculty can take for their professional development and also for the personal development. Yes, our personality is not static and unchangeable. We can develop for better, play to our strengths, work on our weakness. The only thing is the change should come from our end, and identify that when people are not approaching me, or if I'm approaching anyone, people are not reacting in a positive way. Whatever I ask, either they'll take it in a negative way or maybe they are not reacting. So initially we may think the problem may be from the other end, but sometimes problem may be from our end also. Let's have a self introspection within ourselves, that is there any problem from my end? Am I communicating it properly? Am I understanding the problem? Sometimes maybe others are right due to some situations, or as environmental conditions or the situations make them to react without knowing the facts. If we react, those situations may again impact negatively on the personalities. So what we can do, like as I mentioned, our personality is not static, it's a dynamic. We will change as per the situation. Sometimes we need sometimes with some students we are very hard, and we take disciplinary actions, we are very strict. They will think that this particular teacher is of this kind. But similarly, if you see some other students, you are very lively, you will crack jokes and you'll share, you'll motivate them, you tap at the back, you will give a moral support. How come you are changing yourself with some type a group of students you are behaving, and some group of students you are behaving? You are reacting, as I said, that as per the situation, based on the previous experiences or previous conversations with those particular students, that you are changing yourself. Means that is the only way where you can communicate to the student. Otherwise that particular group of students may not understand. Whereas this particular students who are having a very comfort zone with them, that they know very clearly that whatever you say that they will follow, because they are already following you from so long. They know about your personality. Obviously you also know about. So that repo makes them a comfort zone between the people. So if we have to develop a student's personality, for that we have to come out from certain things, and we need to experiment certain things. Not that we are not doing, we are already doing all these healthy practices, but still for the further processing, as per the current generation, the generation Z students, if at all we have to connect them in the classroom, we need to change certain things in order to make them to track them in the right order, for the purpose of the right expectations of the corporate. So the first tip is leave your comfort zone. Come out of your shell, explore the world. This is a regular thing what we will tell every time to the student. That what do you mean by the come out of the shell? A comfort zone is limiting. I'll go to my class, I'll explain as per the syllabus, I'll conduct my exams, I'll come. That is called as the comfort zone, that I don't want to talk, I don't want to ask the student whether they're understanding, whether they're listening and all, whether they're missing or feeling that their class is, am I able to follow them, or are they able to follow them? If we don't have that connect, the class is like a monotony. It will be like a mechanical kind of a thing. So how to avoid this, to make more lively our class, to make interesting our classroom, how we can make our students to sit for in a class for as per the Google say, that not more than 7 to 8 minutes a student span in sitting and listening in the classroom, that how I can make them more interactive, more interesting in the classroom. What are the best things I can take out of which whatever I read and observed to the classroom is. Next time you meet a group of people, try engaging with them more, introduce yourself to someone, have a conversation with them. Don't stay in the corner or play with your phone. Interact with the people. Often we tell all these things to the student that don't be always, keep away your mobile, don't use your mobiles and all. But if at all we put a self introspection question to ourselves, how many of us are also doing the same thing when we interact with the colleagues? It may be a staff meetings or a family get-togethers or any gathering. If you go, just we say hi and we'll sit somewhere. Either we are busy with my mobile or maybe with WhatsApp or chatting or something and all that. We are sitting in a social group but not maintaining a direct relation. We are majority of the time a relationship with the technical. So unless if you wanted to know the feelings, emotions, the personality, majorly knowing about the other person personality, unless if you share your moments with them, it may be positive or negative. Your burden sometimes we feel very low or motivated. That time we wanted to share our problem with anyone, but you won't find anyone that you cannot be shared with WhatsApp or any other messenger or any other platform technically. But instead of that, if you're having a good friend who can understand or a mentor who will guide you that come out of that particular problem because they're already experienced it of that. So unless if you are come out of that kind of a thing, that is what come out of your shell. And the more you talk, the more you discuss with the people, the more our personality develop the emotions. Because personality is an all-round development. The main theme of personality is understanding the emotions of the other person. Before that, I should understand the emotions of myself. Then define your area of excellence. The next tip for development of our personality, how I can develop my own area or a domain. What you excel. Every individual, we all are blessed by the God by different skill set. One may be good at art, one may good at singing, one may good at painting, one may good at good public speaking skills, one may be good at whatnot. There are 101,001 different kinds of skill sets are there. So each one of them, we cannot undermine or overrate any particular skill. For me, the skill you are having maybe looks very small for me, but it is very good for you, and you will carry that and you will be recognized only by that particular skill. So define your area of skill of excellence, that what is your expertise, what you will do. No matter, it may be a very small skill which you are having. Let it may be a photography, or you are taking something and that you are posting in some social media, asking them their opinion, sharing with your friends, taking photographs. If it looks like it's very simple thing, but the art what you are developing over there, the satisfaction what you are there, you are a creative person. You are a creative person. Like the example which I quoted, if you wanted to be a video jockey, seek a personality development skills, because being as a video jockey, you need to continuously have a oratory skills. As per the situation, as per the scenarios, you need to change. Continuously, you have to speak the media, audience make happy, and continuously listen to the various programs at the radio or maybe at the TV. So such kind of a things, if you are interested, or maybe if you like any particular person is already doing that particular role, identify them. If chance permits, meet them, or to know that what type of skills they developed. Because your aim is to become a video jockey, what is the requirements are there? If I can fulfill all this, if I can upgrade or update myself with all these skills, can I able to reach, can I able to deliver such kind of a role in a similar manner, maybe in a better version also. Then the third important thing is we need to evaluate yourself, means evaluate ourselves. Some people are extremely popular at work. How come? The same work, when two people are doing, one is doing extraordinarily well, another one is unable to do. When the same resources, when same inputs are given, the only differ compared to ourselves, the other person who is able to do extremely well, the thing is that we will stop after doing. We won't continue. The people who are all-round personality development, if you can see an individual is a full-fledged personality, they will start working after completing the task. What do you mean here after completion of task means? They'll seek the feedback. No matter the feedback is positive and negative, they are always ready to take any feedback even though the feedback is criticized, not a constructive feedback, but then also, and they'll work on the mistakes. Maybe if somebody asks that what is your performance level, means if they said it is 90% excellent, but still I will see that why the 10% is not there, how can I improve that 10%? But for that, I should have a guts to go and ask and take the feedback properly, correcting on my own mistake. And then if I able to do that, I will go and help others in the similar lines, that what are the areas which they can improve, which I'm expertise in that, to solve various problems and come out of that particular situation. But unfortunately, the problem, including myself, we are prefixed mind that we are doing our level best. Maybe we are doing correctly. Maybe sometimes we may think that other person doesn't know, or he or she is an expert. But certain times, what happens? No, we don't know the skill set of other person, because they are also sometimes not exposed to those skills. So the self-evaluation at the regular intervals will help one's personality. And in improving all those things, when we are evaluating ourselves and skills and areas of improvement, by asking ourselves, is your public speaking effective? Because being as a teachers, when we are talking about personality development, let it be a classroom level, or in an FDP, or it may be an MDP, or it may be a conference, or it may be a training program. When certain task is given, when we are delivering something that the other group, no matter it is a 10 or 15, whatever may be the group size, that if the people are able to follow us, am I able to communicate the right thing, what I'm supposed to deliver? Or your confidence levels are high, that if I'm not confident enough when I'm delivering something, the people who are sitting on the other side also having a doubt that what so and so is delivering is not that confident. So I'm doubt, even from my end, I'll doubt that whether it, to what extent it is applicable to the real time scenario. Then, is your behavior pleasant and cooperative? As I mentioned, no, some teachers or some faculty, no, their intention is not to take any disciplinary action on the student. They feel that we shouldn't give too much of freedom to the student. We have to be very strict. Strictness is different from making them understanding is different. So they behave in such a way that it's not a pleasant behavior in the classroom, or maybe student come to us also. It may be very strict. You won't allow them, and you will restrict them, and you will restrict them only to the class what you are teaching. And if they ask them, that you will tell that only in the class, sorry. Who knows that there are certain circumstances, situations when students need an extra effort, because obviously there are students from the different background, different domain, different language barriers also will be there, different subject content. There are some subject student may not understand in the first time. So they requires a second time repetition of the class, or maybe personal attention required and all. And if we are too much of strict in the classroom when we are delivering the content, it shows a negative attitude towards the student, that, so this teacher, sorry, I don't want to. So it indirectly also represent our personality, that student will feel that for a regular classes also, they don't want to sit in our class. The reason behind that, not the subject is the teacher not making them interest to sit in the class. That yes, behaving a pleasing personality first make them feel a comfort zone in the classroom. Then slowly they will open up one by one the problem what they are doing. If we are little strict in the classroom, yes, when we are conducting exams, when you are evaluating, when you are assessing them, yes, nobody, there is no second thought, everyone, all of us have to be strict. But when we are delivering or we are mentoring, we are counseling them for the career, especially in the higher education, we need to have a pleasing personality with a smiling face, explaining them, and they should feel a comfort zone. Yes, if I have any problem, either maybe personal or professional, I can approach this particular faculty at any time with no doubt. That makes them to be more attentive in the classroom. Then start observing yourself, make notes, and identify qualities you need to acquire. Yes, though I mentioned, though define your area of excellence means I may be expertise in some. I may not be 100% perfectionist. That is humanly not possible for all of us. We may only have certain skills. We acquire certain skills as per interest zone. There may be any skills, but I'm not interested to develop that particular skill. But definitely I wanted to develop certain skills which I'm aspiring to become. Usually we all take someone as a role model that I wanted to become like this kind of a professor. I need all the students to follow like that kind of a following. So I need to develop my classroom delivery in this way. This kind of a content I wanted to develop or deliver in my classroom. If I'm identifying of such things, I should make a note of them. Every 6 months or 3 months, I need to revise my own plan, and I should check that in what way I can improve. Can I acquire these particular skills? Is there any individual who can teach these particular skills so that I can practice, and one day definitely I can also acquire that kind of skills. But this evaluation requires a strict evaluation. We may sometimes think that this is a general human mindset that the positive evaluation we will think. If supposingly someone said your class is excellent, it is. If supposingly said that some part was okay, some part I did not understood, means I should be happy for the some part of 50% or whatever they're happy. The remaining part where they are not happy, I wanted to know about that, because my intention is next class or the next session, at least if I can improve that, that will be definitely improve that the student from 50 to 60 over a period of time. Definitely the 100% input I can give, or not, and 100% output I can deliver in the class as per the expectations of the student. Read a lot. Yes, before asking the students, we have to read a lot. Read a lot means not the subjects what we are reading, that anyhow we are doing it in a regular process for upgrading our knowledge, for research, for our projects. All these things are subject upgradation. Nobody can tell us that you have to read these books and all. We know, we are already tuned to that, we are doing that. But apart from that, there are certain motivation. Who will give? I always believe that self-motivation plays an important role. After attaining certain age, especially at the age group of the middle-aged teachers, and we cannot learn something only by experiential learning by doing, as I mentioned. So certain novels, motivational books, now and then, if we can read, like Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, some classic personality development, motivational book, this kind of things, if we can read, in that the characters, how they are resembling, how they are molding themselves in their self-discovery of that. If it is possible to that particular character in that particular novel, that means what? There are many people who suffered, who are going through this kind of a process in the development process, in the discovery of knowing about themselves, that yes, the power, there are a number of books, I just quoted only a few, that yes, the highly motivated book, including myself, I personally love to read a number of times, like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. So what are the most prominent or effective people are doing in their habits, how they're developing their habits, how these habits making them day by day more perfection in their roles. So this kind of books, whichever language, whichever is comfortable to us. So every book will give one solution to our problem, if we are having it. And apart from that, reading a lot of books, not only giving us solutions to the problem or self-motivation to us, it's also improves our vocabulary. If it improves their vocabulary, we will have a hold on the subject when we deliver in the classroom. Then another important thing required, especially these two are very much important, especially when currently the modern, the title also I gave it the modern skill, because this generation people, very few people, I think from past 5 to 6 years, people, very less number of people are opting to come for this teaching profession, noble teaching profession. Even though those who are coming, and they have to be little careful, because there are a lot of avenues are available. Don't know which avenue is the right and positive way for my career development or professional development also. Networking. Yes, the best tips for personality development is to network. How well you will network. Gone all the days before, if at all you have to network with anyone for the faculty, the only thing is maybe within their institution level or any conferences. The conferences are the only platforms physically, or any training programs. Visit over there, meet any industry people, waiting for the opportunity, have an interaction. regularly contact with them, any academic purpose and all. But these days, due to availability of internet or social media, LinkedIn, especially the professional platform where we can interact regularly with the people, and based upon our interest, that you will have a direct tie-up. As I mentioned, that if you are taking so and so person is a role model, that person may not be available within your country, but you are waiting for a lifelong, waiting for that particular moment to meet that particular person. That there are no boundaries these days. So network them. You share with your moments, share the research work, share the new things which ideas you are having, and build a rapport with them. Do a collaborative work with them. It definitely useful for the across the boundaries. Maybe the other country students or our student or our research for the societal benefit. So networking these days, the more the network you are having, professional network, I mean to say that will definitely useful for a win-win. I feel personally networking is like a win-win situation, because I may have, as I mentioned, some skills, with the skill which I wanted to learn, but doing certain works, especially when the research works, when you're writing papers and when you're doing any project works and all, individually you cannot do certain things due to time constraints and other academic works. But if you have a network of the similar like-minded people who are working in the similar lines, and that will understand and that will upgrade your knowledge, eventually your professional development also possible. Of course, there the problem comes over whom you trust, who inspires you, who also works, not the people who carry or take your work. And at the same time, that of course the ethical values also plays an important role, that to what extent I can share my research or any work with the people whom I'm interacting. Unless if you have that confidence, then improve your body language in the dress code. This is another important thing, being as a teacher, that yes, many corporates came, everyone, there is no dress code is not important. You have to go with an informals also. Yes, all these things may be work out in a scenario of an MNCs or the corporate culture in an industry. But when it comes to a teaching, I personally believe that our attire, our personality resembles the way how we are projecting. The respect what we will get, how we will dress ourselves. A formal dress code is always a required respect in the classroom from the student. No matter whether you may not be an expertise in that particular subject, unable to deliver. Maybe initially you entered into a career, but the way once you have a formal dress and you went to a class, the kind of respect, a feel you can observe with their icon. So how they will watch you when you are standing delivering a session, you can check that student, feel that if you're a male or if you're a female, the fatherly brother or maybe the motherly look, they will feel that the divine kind of a noble profession, what we say, that it automatically comes. Another thing is make an eye contact. We all need to have an eye contact. We are not supposed to see where that means the lack of interest for the students also. The same thing we'll observe from the student when we ask something, if they are not looking at you, we feel awkward that what is this recklessness? Why you are not responding? The same thing student also feel. And the making an eye contact means not only one particular student or student who are good, who are genuine, who are regularly follow. We need to make an eye contact with everyone. It kind of a sense for the student that yes, teacher is observing me, she's even looking at me, means she's giving importance to me, so I need to reciprocate the same thing with the teacher. So dressing and eye contact in the classroom makes an important role for the personality of the teacher, and also to develop the same thing from the student also. Sorry. Understanding of technology. Yes, technology is growing. We are teaching, in fact, to the technology generation. We need to understand, first of all, the latest technology. Thanks to COVID, COVID taught all of us, not only as a teacher, in every domain, in every industry, that latest technological things. The only way we can connect with this generation is technology. because most of the time they'll spend with the mobiles, laptops, or any technical gadgets only. But if at all I have to connect with them, of course, chalk and talk is always the best way to teach in the classroom. But apart from that, sometimes we need to use some digital tools to make them to understand the concept, because that is their comfort zone. So the elements, the learning management systems, what different institutions are providing, it may be Moodle or it may be any other platforms, the Coursera, the Excel, the Mentimeter, Kahoot, gamification, Canva. So n number of there is no end for this. Whichever digital tool is applicable to your class, whichever digital way is the more engaged way in the classroom, if you make them all these digital tools, there are majority of the tools are freely available. If we can learn that and get that inputs to the classroom, definitely student feel like an interesting to that kind of a learning also these days required. All these days we read, we understood everything from the books. Now we have to learn from the digital ebooks, from the ebooks, the technology based learnings we need to. And the last and important thing is ability to manage online reputation. There is a thin line always we have to maintain. Networking is, yes, very much important these days. Because of our busy schedules, the timelines are different, and not having a time to meet personally, physically, interacting with them. That is the reason we need to use platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, or LinkedIn and all. But as a teacher, the personality, when we are talking about maintaining their own social networks, LinkedIn is definitely used for the professional network, only posting the postings which are relating to our domain area, or maybe general motivational kind of a thing, in our by avoiding controversial things and all. And at the same time, we need to put a borderline or a thin line which others are not supposed to enter into that particular area. That is Instagram, Facebook should remain private and separate from the student. This is the area where if we allow the students in that, definitely that disturbs the relationship between the teacher and the student. Yes, though we are a teacher, we also have our own personal life. When we talk about our personal life, we can showcase our personal life in our personal pages in Facebook or Insta, or it may be another WhatsApp, what are the different platforms are there. But we need to be strict to ourselves that we are not supposed to enter any student in that place where, and we should also keep an eye on what kind of postings I'm posting in that social media, that if any student sees this particular post of my picture, of my writing, of my images, which I'm sharing, and what kind of thinking or they thinks about my behavior and attitude also plays. So my personality also denotes how I'm managing or maintaining my social platforms. Yes, the last, this is what interesting recent times I have seen that what makes a great teacher to develop a personality. These days, of course, no teacher is not having a negative following of a student. That all of us wanted to have a good following by the student in a positive way. That listening to our sessions, motivated by various activities what we do in the classroom. A Pakistani scientist dedicates his Nobel Prize to his Indian professor. And this is your prize, sir. It is not mine. It came in all newspapers in the way back. So he got Nobel Prize for physics domain. And he got motivated by his professor, physics, mathematics professor. Then, and he don't know where the professor is there. So after 2 years, he asked our Indian government to find my professor. I wanted to dedicate my Nobel Prize. So after 2 years of research, when he met his teacher, that is the photograph, what else a teacher requires? So he dedicated his prize to the professor, and he said these kind words, "Sir, it is yours, not mine." Like the other day in the video, also in the WhatsApp, it is viral that which position, which noble profession is one teacher. Now, maybe I'm a teacher, but the students, whomever I taught, they're doctors, they're engineers, they're whatnot in all areas. They're a good market, they're a vice president, they're a CEOs of the companies. So if I can motivate one student, my personality, how I'm resembling, carrying myself, the same thing student is taking the positive things from me. And after some time, they're coming back with this kind of a gestures that yes, we can also looking at this kind of a pictures, sometimes feeling proud as a teacher that yes, I'm also giving my level best. If not all, at least some students or a few handpicked students can give their level best in their domain. Definitely we are doing a justification to that. I feel proud myself that yes, I'm presenting or representing myself in a right manner. So personality development includes our positive thinking, our self-confidence, our goal setting, our decision making, whatnot, everything. So finding our own signature voice, a process of self-grooming, enriching with our life experience, building your personal brand, a vision, a growth with a professional success. It's all depends upon how I understand myself, how I carry myself, how I'm identifying or expectations of the students, how I'm reaching to their level in order to give to the best knowledge whatever I'm having, to the level of acceptance from the students, to making them more productive and more successful, helpful, or maybe useful to themselves, or developing themselves as a self development for them. So my personality as a teacher, if I can make one student to develop themselves, their self grooming definitely make them professionally equipped. So thank you. This is my presentation of course, my thoughts on professional development.
The session is open for discussion now. You can unmute and interact with the resource person, or you can post your questions in the chat box also. Ma'am is there to help you. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Very nice lecture.
Any questions? Any questions? You can post your questions in chat box also. I'll read it to ma'am. Any questions, participants? Ma'am, think there are no questions from their side, ma'am. Shall we wind up, ma'am? Saudamani, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we wind up, ma'am?
Is there any questions?
No, ma'am, there are no questions from their side, ma'am.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you for the opportunity, IoT Academy.
On behalf of IoT Academy, we thank Dr. Saudamani, ma'am, for the enriching and enlightening session. We thank you once again for the amazing presentation, ma'am. We thank you for enhancing understanding related to personality development with a commendable presentation, ma'am. We thank you once again for your efforts, ma'am. Thank you very much,
Thank-
ma'am. I thank all
Thank
the
you, one
participants.
and all.
Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome, ma'am. I thank all the participants for joining the session today. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am. Kindly fill the feedback form using the link that has been posted in the chat box. Thank you all. Kindly submit the feedback form using the link that has been posted in the chat box. Thank you all. Nancy, ma'am, I have posted the link again, ma'am. Just check it, ma'am, whether it's opening.